And the words, actually, the comedy of Sugarray, are beamed in big letters across the sky above this display, which is massive. You're looking at what is likely a cube roughly as wide and as long as a movie theater screen. Spherical, though. So very, very broad. All the 3D figures within it are life-sized. You can tell now, unlike the other 3D displays, this one is so stable that you can actually move through it without messing with anything. So you're free to do so if you'd like, but it is starting up and playing. There is only one seat, just the one.
Who wants to take it?
I'm okay standing.
I kind of want to go inside it after I see what it does.
Notably, that single seat smells very heavily of sulfur.
Oh, nope, I'm not going near that seat. Gross. Smells like Avicii and he's stinking. I hate him. Okay, let's go inside the hologram.
If you go in, you will hear music and you will notice that there is actually an unfortunately familiar figure there to greet you.
Ah!
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to the Comedy of Sugarray, a production by me, Avicii. You're looking at a 3D representation of me, not the real thing. I just wanted to relay the story of this young man and how he came to be the way that he is today. I recorded this so that I could watch it and be reminded myself of just how far I've come in my journeys. Sugarray, he shows a 3D model that materializes and becomes Sugarray, but a much younger, smaller version. Same hair, but he has a face, not that void. You see here, this is Sugarray. I made sure to record the data on his appearance before, well, you'll see. Sugarray was interesting as a child. The others manifested their abilities for war quite early, but Sugarray, he was more interested in singing music. It's quite an annoyance. And no matter how hard I pushed him, he simply wouldn't bring forth a gift for war of any kind, no mode fit for fighting. It was tiresome. His siblings loved his singing. They said he had the most beautiful voice, like one of the songbirds that I brought along with me as a food supply. Well, one day, I got so sick of listening to his voice that I force-fed him liquid nitrogen. And then he grabs the kid, pulls a tank of liquid nitrogen out from behind a counter, and just forces it into this kid's mouth. You can see the freezing effect on this kid's flesh, his throat, his mouth. And then out into the void of space he went. And you can follow along as Avicii drags this kid through the ship, puts him in an airlock, closes it, and then slams the button to eject him. And then waves his hand as the young Sugarray floats away, tumbling into space. He clawed and tore and pounded at his own frozen flesh until at last he manifested his gift and was allowed back onto the ship. And that is the comedy of Sugarray. The display freezes with Avicii just staring quite blankly at the assembled viewers.
Nia goes to that chair and starts to try to beat it up.
Sure, it's just a chair.
Yeah, no, she throws it across, she pulls it off the floor and throws it across the room as
I thought
violently
it was a hologram,
as
not a
possible.
real chair.
No, it's part of the theater. It's like a theater. Avicii comes here and watches himself do this shit. Nia hates it.
Yeah, the chair comes up it's heavy, but you can tear it off. And you can throw that chair. Sort of goes clattering into the darkness.
This isn't a comedy.
Sugarray kind of slowly approaches the group and just nods his head, but he can't say anything.
Marisol looks a little horrified and a little sad.
When he sees the group's kind of general mood, he points to Harry Harmony's show and just kind of like insistently points.
Mia tries to find a way to hug this alien.
Yeah, he just kind of like puts a hand up. He's very chilly.
She stops and she's like tearing up. I want to hug you. She's like wordlessly angry.
Yeah, we're sorry that happened to you, Sugar Ray. No one should have to go through that, especially not a kid. Not like that. And he just kind of looks back at the room and just that's terrible, man.
He, instead of pointing at Harry Harmony's house, slowly guides his finger over towards another display that he's been working on, and then he stares at your group kind of with an almost accusatory stare.
Can I go look at what that display is?
Yeah.
Sure. Marisol will recognize this. It's footage of child soldiers from somewhere in Central America. Kids who are pretty hungry, who are holding automatic rifles, who are talking about life like it's, just one day away from ending, maybe less. Footage of them kind of riding around in trucks.
Marisol grabs at her upper arms, recognizing the sight.
Though he can't really articulate what it is he's trying to say, it's probably obvious that he is drawing the comparison of how humans treat their young.
She's looking down.
Yep, but not everyone treats their young this way.
He nods his head.
It's kind of weird that he pointed at something really so innocent and then pointed at this. Obviously, he didn't have a choice. This is sick.
Well, they are child soldiers.
Yeah.
He looks away from your group and then returns to working on the Harry Harmony house display. He seems to be just putting his full attention into it.
This is...
Should have disappeared Avicii when I should have disappeared Avicii.
These guys are still kids. Sally said she was the same age as Tyson, so this is really weird.
Well, when you're born for war, you don't really know anything else, do you?
They weren't born for war. No one is.
No one is, but Avicii's forced it to be. Just how we have forced others to be the same. At times.
He just needs to know that he's got a choice.
Sometimes you don't have a choice. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, if Avicii did that to him just to get his ability to show up, what'll he do if he tries to, go against his will? They're stuck in this death game just as much as we are.
There is a sudden smell that permeates the air in the holographic chamber. The familiar scent of sulfur begins to waft through the hall. Sugarray lifts his head, looks around, and then quickly rushes over to your group and starts pointing towards the exit very frantically.
No, we should go, guys. Mia's also pushing people out.
Yeah, we'll start making our way.
Sugarray, come over for pizza later.
He just kind of looks at you with one eyebrow raised.
And then she just pushes everyone out.
As you're leaving, if you look into the darkness, you can see Sugarray quickly rushing to pick up that chair that you threw so that he can put it back exactly where it was. As the smell begins to grow stronger and a presence begins to grow larger within the Hall of Holograms. You can exit through two different ways. You can exit into the jungle, or you can exit back into the central sandy chamber.
Maybe we should go into the jungle?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I kind of want to see what's in the jungle.
The first thing you're going to see when you get into the jungle area is it is lively. It's back to being warm. There are a lot of different plants, in this area. It is lush. Very lively compared to the almost tomb-like conditions of the Hall of Holograms. The flowers and various fruits and vegetables may be edible, but it's difficult to say, especially because if you were to approach one close enough, it, for example, what looks like an ordinary lemon may split in half and reveal rows of sharp teeth, along with a long, prehensile violet tongue that whips around. And then other lemons on the same branch will do the same, sort of gesturing towards anyone who approaches and snapping their teeth. The entire garden seems to be some sort of project. It is very, very humid. The most humid of any of the chambers for obvious reasons. But there's also artificial daylight above and a sort of artificial sky dome that gives it the appearance of being, well, Earth, sort of, or another place. Sky is streaked with violet and red and gold. Massive planet looms overhead.
Do you think this is Sally's or the other guys? As Yuji's kind of looking around, trying to see what's there without touching anything, since it seems to all be aggressive.
Well, it's not on fire.
That doesn't mean he can't have hobbies. I mean, Sugar Ray has his holograms, and I mean, this place is plenty stuffy.
Well, we can just announce ourselves really loudly.
I don't know if I want to do that, because we don't know who or what's in here just yet. And seeing as that lemon tried to snap at us, I don't think the plants are the only thing we need to worry about.
Marisol has a mixed look of feelings on her face. This is the closest to being back home I've had in a while. It feels weird.
There is a rustling in some of the undergrowth in this jungle garden. Something is moving in there.
Hello?
The only response you get back is,
Oh, there's a puppy.
Stay back. It might not be a puppy.
It's not likely a puppy, but I guess we can check this out.
Yeah, and if it's a puppy, that means the parents are probably close by, so let's not antagonize them.
Mm-hmm.
the rustling gets closer and louder, and then something comes tumbling out of the green right in front of your group, sort of on its butt.
It is a puppy.
Nia, don't
Yeah,
pick
don't.
that puppy up.
I will.
Don't do it. No, no.
Nia, that is the cutest animal any of us have ever seen, but that just means it's more dangerous.
Yes. Nia squirms, wanting to pick up the puppy very badly, like she's being tortured.
It stands up on its hind legs and sort of paws at the air, and then tumbles over onto its side and runs sideways like it's panicked.
Does it seem to want us to go somewhere?
Currently, it's just rolling around on its back and forth.
Oh.
Marisol crouches down and tries to call the puppy over. Hey,
It gets up and starts to run towards you.
I'm gonna regret this, aren't I?
It trips and then falls on its nose, and then gets back up and tries to run towards you again.
That is a small dog.
Who wants to bet this thing's poison us, rather?
Yeah, or has fangs that come out and multiple mouths. We've dealt with a lot of weird dogs.
Or it just has a gun.
Explodes.
Yeah, there are the exploding rats, so.
The puppy just runs into your leg, Marisol, and falls over again, and then gets back up.
Marisol, do you have one of your little micro machines on you? Maybe you can interact with it that way, and we can see what happens.
I actually don't. She pats herself while she's still crouching.
It's too much. Nia just pets the puppy.
Oh no.
Okay, you pet the puppy.